Phil the gorilla is drinking a beer with his zookeeper at the St. Louis Zoo in 1954. Alright, here we are inside a German UB-110 submarine, specifically the control room. It's around 1918. Germany, Berlin. People are standing at a cinema where films in Russian for Soviet soldiers are shown, 1947. A marching soldier is sticking his tongue out at the photographer. This was taken by Elliot Erwitt at Fort Dix in 1951. A family is shopping for their fallout shelter. They're getting supplies. The 1955 Lincoln Futura made its official public debut on January 8, 1955 at the Chicago Auto Show. Jane Mansfield is posing with Miss Hollywood of 1957. Bruce Lee's workout routine from the 1960s reflects his dedication to physical fitness and martial arts training. Union Army soldier barely survived the Andersonville prison after wasting away from hunger during the US Civil War. He was eventually released in May 1865. There's a woman in the Wild West and she's wearing a bonnet. She also has a mask on designed to protect her skin from the sun. A French woman welcomes an American soldier. This happened 2 days after the liberation. It was in Strasbourg, France on November 22, 1944. George Auger and Tom Sudrey, 1916. Alright, here's what I see. This advertisement is for a curious contraption called the electropathic belt. The ad claims this belt is a cure-all, meant to address everything from nervous exhaustion to rheumatism. It also mentions that it's treatment for spinal complaints and liver issues. For just 10 shillings, anyone could have this device delivered to their home. The advertisement boasts that the belt will restore health and vitality. The Fleetway House Golfing Society is playing with a giant golf ball on the putting green in 1928. A gas mask designed for newborns is being tested, showing the precautions that were taken during World War II. This took place in the United Kingdom in 1941. A zebra passenger cart during 1930 in Calcutta, India. A dog named Fritz and a goat named Bill, 1918. The largest turtle that ever lived is the now extinct Archelon ischiros. It's from the Western Interior Seaway, an ancient Cretaceous sea that divided the North American continent. This was at the Yale Museum in 1902. Two boys are sitting at a table. They're studying by a human skull. A United States Marine gives a cigarette to a Japanese soldier buried in the sand. Iwo Jima, 1945. The 1970s, huh? This tells us about feminist vandalism. Anne Frank and her sister Margot at the beach, Zandvoort, August 1940. Women Strike for Peace carry placards outside the United Nations headquarters in New York City, where the UN Security Council considers the Cuban Missile Crisis in a special meeting on October 23, 1962. In the olden days, Santa Claus would gather up naughty children, toss them in his basket and whisk them away to the North Pole to serve as his slaves. That's where the legend of Santa's elves came from. Girls are playing jump rope, Chicago, 1950. Alright, so we're talking about a public men's toilet. This was in France during the 1920s. There's a big group of soldiers and civilians celebrating together on top of an armoured vehicle. They're holding rifles and flags during a historical military event, the Spanish Civil War. A tough truck carrying logs, 1915. Actress Anita Ekberg meets paparazzi outside her house. She's got a bow and arrow after they followed her all night. This was in 1960. It was the 1800s in America, and this is about the bison extermination. This must be Take Your Donkey to Work Day in New York, 1956. Ernest Hemingway plays football with beer in 1959, United States of America. There's a dog, a baby, and a couple travelling in one car. This was in the 1930s. Someone is preparing a slave for sale in the United States during the 19th century. The vehicle was the car being driven when the first ever speeding ticket was given to Walter Arnold in 1896. A Bedouin mother from Saudi Arabia in 1948. Albert Einstein sat for a bust by Arthur Lowenthal in Berlin in 1930. A Mongolian shaman in 1909. A Japanese postcard of a beautiful person with her kitten is from around 1907. So this is about a Victorian-era bathing machine. These were popular in the 19th century. People used them for bathing at the beach. They were like small wheeled huts. The bather would change inside for privacy. The machine would be rolled into the water. A couple is cuddling while sitting in a hole. Others are enjoying the beach on the 4th of July in Santa Monica, California in 1950. The photo was taken by Ralph Crane. Pin boys set up bowling pins while people play games in 1914. South Korean students are moving to the front in 1950. They were called soldiers without dog tags because they joined the fighting with little preparation. The first picture is of two children dressed up. One child is wearing a bunny costume. The other child is dressed as a clown. The Great Mississippi Flood of 1927 was a disaster. Three boys are fishing for change during the Great Depression, New York, 1930. A truck's loaded up with beer barrels, and it's surrounded by men cheering. They're all wearing suits and hats. It seems like they're celebrating the end of Prohibition in the United States. Woody Allen, 1953. (1920), an asylum patient and his doll. Elvis Presley met President Richard Nixon at the White House on December 21, 1970. D-Day, 1944. The first escalator in England, 1898. It's May of 1939. Some students are in typing class. This is at Ashwood Plantations in South Carolina. The baby cage, a wire contraption, was suspended from apartment windows. It was designed to give city-dwelling infants extra light and fresh air. A French woman is pouring tea for a British soldier who's fighting in Normandy in 1944. Austrian actress Marie Schleinzer, born in 1874 and passing in 1949, is wearing her eccentric Batwoman dress. It's made with real taxidermy bats. This is from the 1900s. Dolly Parton, very young and beautiful in the 1960s. Dr. Seuss sketching the Grinch for his then upcoming book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, in 1957. Robot Eric, created by Captain William Richards in 1928. A curious sea lion poses for the camera. Judy Garland's daughters, Liza Minnelli and Lorna Luft, are watching the very first television showing of The Wizard of Oz in 1956. Young adventurers. There are 3 young boys and they're sailing a homemade raft at Frinton-on-Sea, Essex in the 1930s. An American M3 Lee going airborne on an obstacle course. Alan Dwan is making himself heard by 1,200 extras through the medium of the world's largest megaphone. It's 4 feet in diameter and 10 feet long. Children are gathered around a Civil War veteran. He's riding in a cart that's pulled by 2 dogs. They're in front of C.F. Cooke's photography studio in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. There are 4 boys jamming and the year is 1928. Paparazzi photographer Ron Galella would wear a football helmet around actor Marlon Brando. This was after Brando once sucker punched him, broke his jaw, and knocked out 5 teeth in 1973. Chris Holly is crowned Miss Modern Venus by last year's winner Evelyn Peterson, while the lovely runners-up stand beside her. The competition happened in Steeplechase Park, Coney Island, in 1947. A young lady is posing in Croydon Road, Caterham, England, around 1894. A mother and her son are watching the mushroom cloud from the atomic test in Las Vegas, 1953. At the Caterpillar Women's Pub outing in Clapham, London, 1958. Elizabeth Taylor with her first husband, Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr. Two sunbathers, matching, strike a pose while catching some rays on the Coney Island beach in 1955. The champion watermelon eater at the 4th of July celebration in Brooklyn, 1935. During the Victorian era, a woman's hair was considered an important part of her appearance. It marked her status and her femininity. Robin Williams and his old roommate from the Juilliard School, Christopher Reeve, photographed around 1977. Lafan, Wales, 1959. Actress Doris Houck, Los Angeles, 1945. An underground photo of timbering in the Homestake Gold Mine. This is in Lead, South Dakota, USA. The year was 1908. The photo was taken by William B. Perkins, Jr. The Harley-Davidson School for Motorcycle Mechanics, 1917. Stevie Wonder visited a children's school for the blind in London in 1970. For a brief period, vending machines dispense potatoes, offering a quirky twist on the convenience of automated food. Breaker boys, the condition of child labour and the hard lives of people in the coal mine, located in South Pittston, Pennsylvania. It was 1912, and the first World Series game was in New York. Alice Doherty, who was photographed as a teenager with her family in the early 1900s. American Soldiers Pay Tribute to the Fallen Animals, 1918. So imagine a picnic at the California Alligator Farm in Los Angeles. This was a place where people could hang out with trained alligators, and it was like that from 1907 to 1953. A baby's playing with young alligators at an alligator farm in California around 1900. Bald-head polishers. Ted Spence, an engineer at the Los Angeles Brush Manufacturing Corporation, demonstrates the hairline brush on January 12, 1950. Iranian shepherds wearing traditional woolen capes during the 1950s. A mother, ashamed, is covering her face as she offers her children for sale. It's a heartbreaking glimpse into post-war hardship. Chicago, 1948. The Casino de Monte Carlo in Monaco in 1913. A Goodyear blimp out of gas was pulled to safety by townspeople at Cross Farm. This happened in Oneida, Tennessee in 1933. Imagine, if you will, a tour bus from 1904 in New York City. Red Cross nurses taking a break, 1939. Motorcar enthusiasts in fancy dress at the Liverpool Motor Show, 1907. "30 Audi factory workers are demonstrating the power of the DKW F7 model." Roadside camping with a great auto tent, 1920. In the teletype room, where weather data and other information are constantly being received, Washington Airport, July 1941. Grand Duke Alexis of Russia's luxurious landau is pulled by a Heilmann electric tractor, blending traditional carriage design with innovative electric technology. The year was 1898. February 1943, Daytona Beach, Florida, Bethune-Cookman College, home economics students learning how to make good bread. It's 1945 in Prague. Some Russian soldiers are sleeping with a puppy. Annalee Daniels with a photo by Gyon Millie for Life magazine around the 1940s. A very angry kangaroo is seen knocking out a woman for trying to photograph him in the 1960s. So in 1933 you've got Nazis singing to try and get people to go along with their boycott of Jewish shops. There's a disused German trench digging machine from 1918. The newly invented aeroplane became a new and devastating weapon of war. French soldiers gather around a priest as he blesses their aircraft on the Western Front in 1915. Annie Oakley, 1894. No one will see this marble light again, as buildings outside block the sun. Grand Central, New York City, 1929. A cow carries 7 children to school in Okanagan, Washington, 1907. A couple are looking at the Apollo 8 spacecraft launch in 1968. The Hindenburg floated past the Empire State Building in 1936. February 1933, the news vendor's out selling the News Chronicle on Charing Cross Road in London. The headlines are about a test match result, and by his side, the vendor has a dustbin that's labelled "Our Ashes,"